Greetings to all. I'll be here to talk about um, balance and becoming a balanced soul, and how we become damaged from birth as children, since we were born basically whole with nothing but love. And as our weeks and days pass by from our birth, we are either lifted into that love, or we can be damaged spiritually. So let's talk about damage. Um, how we become damaged, how we start off perfectly whole, divine. We're all little Buddhas at birth. We are born divine. We are born perfect with love, and slowly that is stripped away through months or years, as through childhood, through through behaviors of adults, stripping away our love and our divinity slowly as we grow older. And not only adults, but other things can happen. Um, where you live. Um, so as we are born beautiful and whole, and we move into our lives slowly each month by month, um, we take on either love or damage. Most of us take on damage, damage, damage. A few of us get to the age of 7 years old um, without being damaged. Most of us suffer from child abuse, neglect. That's in our younger years, and then as we get older, we suffer from things like um, divorce, loss, separation, um, and those things all become heavy on us, and basically take away our divinity, and remove us from a balanced point spiritually into a very, very damaged point, damaged people. So I have here a few rocks that represent um, damaged people, and basically these rocks are basically everybody in society carries these stones, and I'll explain. So this first stone here, this would represent childhood abuse, whether it be sexual, neglect, poverty. This next one would be um, loss, loss of a child, loss of a family member unexpectedly, just a great pain, a great heartache. So that's your second great heartache. This third one would be um, caused by people around you, family members that did you things to you that you just were unspeakable, unmentionable. Um, so that's one of the big rocks here in your lifetime. So you got three. So you've got these three heavinesses in your life that just damage you. And what happens for most people is they can't deal with it, so they push it to the back of their minds. And then what it does, it just becomes, it comes out in them in other ways, anxieties, panic attacks. If it doesn't get dealt with, because that balance, you're out of balance. So what I tell people, um, this video is mostly about how to release that. People say, hey, you need to balance yourself out, you need to let go, you need to take those pains and let them. How do you do that? How do you let those pains go, those deep wounds go that are there? Um, so this is what I recommend, how you do it, and it's little by little, and it's chipping away. So you take this one, this sexual abuse as a child, and you go to 5 minutes in your life once a week. You spend 5 minutes um, in that pain and that hurt, and you feel that. You can cry. If you want to cry, you can cry. And you take that rock and you put it down for 5 minutes. Because that's it. That's all you need. You can't keep chipping away at that giant stone one by one. So it's this little rock came out of that 5 minute session. And then this one here was the loss of a child. So you take that in and you feel that, and you go to that pain and that hurt, and you cry if you need to cry, and you release it, and you take a piece of that rock, and you let it go. This one here, the family members that really let you down, really hurt you, You go and you spend 5 minutes with that, and you feel that hurt, and you feel that forgiveness coming, and that little piece of forgiveness is that rock that comes out. And when you start this process, you may cry for an hour or two, and that's okay. And then it comes to a point in your life, you'll realize a year or two down the road, if you keep this up, that these rocks are just small stones. Gotten smaller and smaller and become smaller stones. Every time you chip away, every time you take a piece, and that 5 minutes, letting that in, crying it, releasing it, and then let it go. You don't have to think about it for another week, another month. Just let it go, it's good. But you keep taking those little pieces out every time. And pretty soon, you got this one rock left. And when you go to say, I have this great pain in my heart, it's like the biggest pain. You know, I had this abuse when I was a child. And now when I think about it, I don't even cry anymore. I'm kind of glad that I went through that, because you know what? It opened my mind up to a better world, to a better place, to a deeper understanding of self and everyone else around me, and how everybody suffers and they release their pain and their anxieties unintentionally onto other people. So pretty soon you don't even cry. That thing that hurt you the most, you're not even crying no more. And it's not even taking you an hour or a half hour. It's like 5 minutes and I move through it. So you get a point in your life where you've forgiven so much, and the balance. We've created this beauty that we wear, that is our balance point. Now that we've become balanced and we've released this pain that cripples us and cripples our mind and our thinking patterns, then we can move into the real spiritual place, the real spiritual magic that is waiting for us, but we cannot get there till you're balanced here. Once you're balanced here, and you've turned those rocks into beautiful, beautiful polished stones in your life. Stones that were heavy and ugly have now become beautiful and polished. Now, for those who have reached that balance point and have chipped away at those rocks, this is where the magic happens. They talk about the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, in many religions, across our religions, but it's very, very shallow about what they explain to you are these things. These are real things. These are real entities that you cannot see. Just like as human beings, our vision extends so far. On this side of our vision goes into gamma rays and X-rays. We can't see that. And on this side over here, on the side of our vision, goes into delta and alpha rays. There's more light spectrum. Just because we can't see this light spectrum here and this light spectrum here doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So, on here and over here where we cannot see, there are things that are around us, ghosts, entities, and if we visually had this vision range in the spectrum, we could see them moving around us. But we can't. Cats can, because cats have a spectrum a little bit farther and wider in the gamma side. Cats can visually see things that we cannot see. So you got to remember in your life that just because you cannot see these entities, remember that your human functions have been diminished to where a point is we've been created as workers for other entities and other aliens. We were stripped the biggest thing of our telepathy, so we can't be telepathic. So if we can't be telepathic, that opens up a whole world for intrusion of other ETs to control. What that means is, if we're not telepathic, we can be deceived, we can be lied to, we can be manipulated, we can be controlled, because we're not telepathic. So when we're created, Anunnaki, from Bigfoot, whatever, Graves, however we were made from, that part of our brain was specifically turned off. So what happens when you get to a balance point is your life is, the magic starts, is that starts, that function in your brain starts turning on. The telepathic stuff, the you cannot see the vision of entities, but you can feel it in your neck. You can feel it inside your body when there's an entity, a ghost, a spirit, when there's a Bigfoot around, when there's a mountain lion, because mountain lions also can cast out waves of energy that will send you into a fight or flight mode. So cats can do this because they have a bigger wavelength. They also use ultrasound. Um, and people, human beings, don't really get it till they hit that balance point in their spirit life, that there's so much more that we can use and work with once we get to that point. Okay, so here's where the magic starts. Once you get to a balance point and you give yourself to understanding and acknowledging the spirits and entities that are around you, whether it be my cousin Ralph that passed away, my cousin April that passed away, my father that passed away. These are three entities that are around me constantly. But then there are also angels, bigger angels. We have Michael here, Raphael. These are around me too. And then I have ETs since I was a child. I've had ETs land in my backyard, little gray guys, color white being Palladians. I've had them pretty much in my life, my whole time. So when you get to that balance point, and I was lucky because I was born very balanced as a child, and then I had to fight like many battles of um, demons as a child. I had a couple of demonic entities in my family that was just right off the bat I had to deal with and shield.